ready to go, let's start on our back splits.
Good place to start. Just stay here all day, really. So lying back, knees being tucked, feet on the ground.
You can drop arms to your side, so you can have them resting, hands resting on your belly, or one on your chest, one on your belly, whatever's most comfortable for you. A little shuffle around the shoulders, let them drop open. And make sure you're not having to grip your inner thighs to hold the knees up, so you can reposition the feet a bit wider if that helps. So we wriggle around and dropping in. And we'll just settle in with a few easy breaths. Using each out breath to relax somewhere different in your body. So whatever you notice that you're holding on to the most. Might be a bit of tightness around your neck, the throat, or around the chest, maybe across the shoulders. Maybe some tightness in the belly or the hips, those inner thighs. Soften your facial expression. Just easing into the ground, relaxing down. Also notice if you're clenching your jaw, if that's a tendency that you have, just let your jaw slacken. So relaxing any grip in the cheek muscles, the jaw muscles. And noticing now where you feel your breath, if it's mostly around the belly, chest. Often we focus a lot on breathing at the front of the body. So let's see now if we could direct the breath more into the back of the body. So actually drawing your breath right down towards your lower back. Feeling your upper back broaden with each breath. You can kind of feel your back pressing into the ground each time you breathe in. And kind of retreating each time you breathe out. Also breathing out into the sides of your body. So feel the side ribs expand outwards. More subtly, could you even feel the sides of your waist expand as you really fill all of the trunk, filling all the trunk of your body with each breath. Just staying here for a few more breaths. Try to make them conscious. Really focusing attention on your breathing. Yeah, we're just going to take a big stretch out along the ground, reaching your arms above your head on the ground. And then stretch one leg out long, and then the other one. So sending your toes far away from your fingers. Even try flexing your feet here. And then bring your knees up, arms sweep around and grab hold of the tops of your knees, one hand onto each knee. And we'll just bring in a bit of movement here, just very gently pulling your knees in towards you and then letting your arms straighten to draw the knees away. So just gently coming in, feel the lower back pressing into the ground, and then the knees move away without letting your back arch. We're just kind of still working within the natural curves of the spine. Just gently easing in and out. And then we'll make some circles. So circling knees in one direction, keep holding onto your knees. So starting to create some movement through pelvis. And then we'll pause and turn in the other direction. So we're rotating knees in the opposite direction. Notice if something tenses up in your body again, so maybe the chest or neck or jaw. And then we'll just reset here with hands on knees. Just gently hug them in towards you and then lift your chest, tip your chin down, lift your chest up towards your thighs. So hugging really close to your knees. And then slowly release back down until your head comes to the floor. Take a breath in, and with the out breath, curl up off the floor, lifting chest to thighs. And slowly release back down. Take a breath in before you rise again. So we lift with the out breath. And slowly peel your way down. Just do this one more time. Take a breath in and the breath out to lift. And release back down. Now rolling over onto your side, doesn't matter which side, but keep your knees bent up. And so the bottom arm can come to your thigh, just kind of hold the legs in place. And then the other hand comes to your hip. So the top hand comes to your hip, bottom hand to your thigh. Okay, so keeping your knees where they are. And we're just going to turn that top shoulder back. So just gently rotating, open, keeping your lower body where it is. Take a breath here. And then slowly release back so that your elbow points up. So we're going back to neutral. That's it. Not too complicated. So keep your knees down so the knees don't move. Okay, and open again. Just gently rotating through the spine. Doesn't have to be too far. And then come back to your neutral position. Opening again. And back to neutral. And then this time, as we open, we'll extend the arm as well. So turning shoulders, float your arm out wide, behind you, take a breath in, and with the out breath, bring hand to hip and return to neutral. And again, let's open, so turn, spread the arm wide, but fall towards the floor, and reverse it out into hip. Back to neutral. And one more time. So just take your time, floating open, bring the arm out wide. Okay, and then reverse it. Now bring both arms out in front of you. So the bottom arm is long out on the ground, bring palms together. Top arm circles around. So draw a big circle up over your head on the ground and opening out wide. Then circle down towards the legs and come back to your starting point. So hands together. Try to keep your knees together so they stay where they are. Arm circles over again. Really stretch up, open wide. Circling down and return to your neutral position. We'll do this 2 more times. So let your shoulder blade kind of pull away from the ribs as you reach up high, open wide, and as you come down, you can just feel it tuck back into the ribs. And then just do this 1 more time. Might feel good to breathe in as you circle up, over, wide, and to breathe out as you come back. All right, coming back through center, so we'll roll the knees back up and turn to the other side. So bringing knees up and roll them over to the side. So this time, again, top hand to your hip. Bottom hand just comes to thighs to help hold the legs in place. And we're just going to turn the shoulders open, so it's not, doesn't have to be too far. Keep your knees where they are, keeping your hand on your hip. And going back to neutral. Opening again. So really think about turning through the middle of the spine, tuning your shoulders. Back to neutral. Doesn't have to be big at all. Open. and elbow comes up. And then this time we'll extend the arms, we'll come open, bring the arm out wide, then move towards the ground, doesn't have to get there. Hand to waist, and turn to your neutral position again. We'll do this 2 more times. So turning open, float the arm out wide, and reverse out into hip, turning elbow up. And 1 more time, open, arm wide, and reversing out. This time with both arms in front of you, palms come together, and the top arm circles on the ground, all the way up and over. Let your shoulder blade wing off the ribs, float out wide, keep your legs where they are, and then circle down and back to your neutral position or your starting point. We're doing it 4 times total. I feel good to breathe in as we reach up overhead, reach out wide, and breathe out as we circle down and back to the start. I'll come to ready. Is there a couple more? Seems right. So just take it as slow as you like. Really try to feel what's happening with the shoulder blade. Try to be really conscious there. Also conscious of your breath, moving in your body, gentle rotation in the spine. And eventually back to your starting point when you're done. And rolling onto your back. Bring your knees up, hands rest on your knees, and just gently draw them in towards you and let them pull away. So your elbows straighten as your knees and move away from your body, gently in towards you and away. So you can kind of feel the way your pelvis tips as you move your knees. This time as you hug your knees in, lift your chest up towards your thighs, curling and small. Take a breath in as you lower down, let knees move away from you. Breathing in before we rise again, so we lift with the out breath. We'll do 2 more of these, breathing in to lower. Exhale to lift. Think about lifting your chest so we're not pulling the head. See how much of your spine you can get off the ground here. And then slowly ease back down. And up. Okay, and gently release out. Bring your feet to the ground. This time with your knees pointing straight up. So instead of resting together, we'll just have them pointing up to the ceiling, arms down the sides of your body. Drive down into your feet and float your hips off the ground. Just rising to the point where you feel like you're aligning your shoulders, your hips and your knees in one long line. So visualize that. And then we'll curl back down through the spine. Letting hips land. And rise again, push down into your feet. Glutes activate. Try to relax around your throat so there's no tension in the neck. And release back down. And let's do this 2 more times. So drive down to the soles of your feet, lifting your hips off. Feel that long line, shoulders out to knees. And down. And 1 more time. And lower. Hands to thighs, pick the knees up. Just gently sway from side to side. So one hand to each knee, just gently sway across. Okay, and then bringing your knees directly above your hips, so they're bent at 90 degrees. And we want knees straight over the hips to make it a little bit easier. Knees to be closer towards you, otherwise push them a bit further away so that hips and knees are both at 90 degrees. Arms out wide in line with your shoulders, and keep your shoulders anchored to the floor. So before we do anything, we can just bring your awareness to the trunk of your body. So notice if it feels like you're kind of flaring your ribs. You want to be drawing the ribs in. So feeling that long line down through your spine, slightly active through the abs, just without really crunching in, just enough tension to stabilize its pose. And then lowering knees halfway to one side without lifting your shoulders off. Bring knees back up through center. Lower knees halfway to the other side. Take a breath in as knees pass back through center. And a breath out as we lower. So you can kind of feel how far you can go without losing the temperature of the floor. Just moving from one side to the other, ideally in time with your breath. So we're breathing in as we come through center, and we're breathing out each time we lower. Keep those arms and shoulders anchored, and remember that it's a little bit easier with your knees closer. And it's more challenging when we move the knees a bit further away. So let's do one more on each side. It feels like you do the same number on each side. And eventually when you're done, come back through center, hands on knees. Try not to squeeze them in, but just take a moment to relax any tension while holding. Pause for a breath. Then come and roll over, take your time, up onto hands and knees. Okay, so we'll stack knees directly under your hips. Wrists under shoulders, spread your fingers so we've got a strong foundation. Moving through cat-cow, so we'll start with the cow pose, drawing belly down. Lengthen your chest forward, but keep your shoulder blades hugging into the back ribs. And then pull in through the belly, round out through your spine, right back. So we'll keep moving from one to the other, lowering the navel down to your cow pose. Keep the tailbone high, and round out to your cat. So just keep it going, and if you want to, you can close your eyes so that you can really feel what's happening in your body. Feel the way your body articulates. Notice as parts of the body are lengthening. Could you breathe into different areas of the body? Feel that flow rippling through the spine. Notice what's happening with the shoulder blades, the way they hug against the ribs, and the way they kind of flare away from the ribs. Notice where it feels best to breathe. So you might feel better to breathe in for your cow pose, to breathe out for cat, or maybe it's reversed for you. We'll just do around 2 more cycles. And just take a moment to reset when you're done, the last one. And we'll just circle the wrists if you need it. Feels like there's a lot of weight coming into the hands. And then resetting your tabletop, so the hands and knees pose. I'm just going to do a little add-on here. So going into our cow pose with the belly drawing down, chest lengthening forward. And then as you pull your belly in, we'll sit back towards heels. Stretch your arms up high, this time we'll lift hips over your knees. Then pull your elbows down, broaden across the chest. Extend up high. Sit hips back towards heels, keep your arms right up by your ears. Plant your hands, then lengthen through to your cow pose and round out to your cat. Let's do that again. We'll move through to cow pose. And instead of going to cat, as we scoop the belly in, we'll sit hips back to heels. Keep your arms high as we lift hips over knees, so we really stretch up tall, but contain the belly and ribs. Elbows pull down, imagining you're up against a wall. Reach up high. Sit hips back, keep your arms high. Then plant hands to the floor, come through to your cow, and pull navel to spine as we round out to cat. So we'll do that whole sequence 2 more times. Just feeling the flow through cow, sit back. Push into the tops of your feet as you rise. Imagine you're up against a wall as we pull the elbows down. Breathe arms high, contain front body. Sit back. Hands touch down, lengthen through. And cat pose. So we'll do that whole sequence once more. Just find your flow here. Think about the way your breath moves in your body. Through and round out to cat. Coming from a tabletop pose, so find a neutral position again. Now slide your right arm just behind the left arm and keep reaching under. So keep your arm up close to your wrist. Reach all the way under until the top of the arm finds the floor and rest of your right side of your head to the ground. You can prop the fingertips of the left hand, that helps to stabilize, and think about turning through the middle and the back. And if it feels like your belly is quite close to your thighs, bring your weight all the way forward, so we're trying to stack your hips above your knees. So rotating that top shoulder open, make sure your head can rest comfortably. And if you feel steady and stable, the left arm might wrap behind your lower back. But if it's wrapping, make sure you're turning your top shoulder open so we're not letting it dip forward. If there's any tension in the neck, reposition your head so you can relax. And we'll just hold for a few breaths here. And when you're ready to come out, we'll slowly unravel the top arm. Your left hand to the floor. Now the right arm sweeps out wide. You open, so reach your fingers up high. Doesn't have to be all the way up, just as far as you can. And then touch the hand down. So we'll do the same thing to the other side. So left hand slides under, up close to the right wrist. Keep reaching under, so we want the weight quite far forward. So until the top of the arm reaches the ground, make sure your hips don't sway out to the side. We want to keep hips stacked over knees. Pop up onto the right fingertips to help your balance. Make sure your head is comfortable here. And then if you're feeling steady, the right arm might wrap behind. If you find that the shoulder drops forward, let's really try to anchor helping hold the shoulder open. If the hips are swayed out, let's draw them back to center. Maybe even a little bit of pressure in the bottom arm to help rotate. Think about where your breath moves to. So can you maintain, even in this position, the feeling of breathing into the back of the body and the sides, as well as the front of the body. So we're not just focusing breath into the belly and front ribs. Just a couple more breaths. Take your time, nice and easy. Eventually, when you're done, we'll very slowly unravel. So right hand to the ground, push down into it, and then slowly sweep your left arm out wide, turn, reaching up high, take a breath here. Then hands come down. Let's bring our knees a little bit wider, big toes together. Let's slide back towards your heels. Arms out long in front of you, elbows drop to the ground. Forehead comes down. Relaxing in. And focus your breath into the back of your body. Lower back, middle and upper back. Into the side ribs. And all at once, feeling the trunk of your body filling the back, sides and front. Okay, coming up to hands and knees again. Plunge your hands to the ground. And knees come under your hips. This time we're tucking toes under and sit your hips back with deep knee bend. So coming into a crouch. Plant your hands firmly, press into every finger. Shoulder blades hug into the back body. And really moving your weight back. Then push into the push into the balls of the feet. Then float your way forward into a plank. Keep your body nice and long. Make sure you're not dropping through. Make sure you're not arching. One long line through the body. Yep. Okay, sitting back to your crouch. Tailbone high. Holding onto that beautiful long line. And then push into the big toes. Float forward. Coming back to your crouch. Push forward. This time we're holding it right here. Just stay. Pause for another breath. Then drop your knees to the floor and slowly lower all the way down. Land hips. Roll your shoulders back and lift your chest. Just keep your hands by your ribs. Legs straight. Toes on the floor. And just for a moment, feel the breath shift into the back of your body. So instead of just kind of lifting the chest and letting the belly kind of flare out, we want to be breathing into the lower back and a bit of tension in the abdominals. So creating a really strong pose here. Drive down into your feet, squeeze the glutes, but keep your belly strong. Then lift the chest and reach your arms out long in front of you. Pause to take another breath into the back body. Then elbows pull down towards your ribs. And stretch arms out long in front of you. Keep the back of your neck long. If you need to, you can always have your fingertips to the floor if it gets too intense. Elbows draw down or back, however you want to think about it. And extend out long, just like when we were doing that other pose that was upright. Elbows draw down towards the ribs. Stay strong, breathe into the back body. And reach forward. One more time, keep your legs strong, glutes active. Good. Okay, extend. And bring your hands by your ribs. Lift your feet, bring the knees and bring them out wide. Sit hips back towards heels, but now child's pose again. Just pause here, let your head drop to the ground. Easy breaths. If there's any tension in the back muscles, this is where we can use the breath like a counter pose. And we're going to come up to hands and knees again. And repeat that same little sequence. So tucking toes under, push your hips back. So bringing your weight all the way back. Try to be right up onto the big toes, not letting your feet fall up to the sides. And then float forward. Power into your hands, shift back. Bending your knees as much as you can here. Really bring the knees down low. Yeah, good. And float forward. So we want as we come back, we want the knees as low as we can without arching the back. So push your weight back and then try to maintain that position as we just deepen the knee bend a bit more. Really good for the toes too. Floating forward. So you want to actually feel the quad muscles working. Let's go back one more time. Or the quads fire up. Float forward, and we're going to hold this one. You can choose knees or toes, and lower with control to the floor. Okay, legs out long, feet flat. Activate the glutes. Just check for a moment the position of the trunk of the body. So we're not creating banana to lower back. We want to be active through the abs, just enough to create that strong posture, breathing into the lower back. Feel the shoulder blades kind of tucking into the back ribs. And then when you're feeling strong and stable, extend arms out long in front of you, fingertips on the floor if you need it. Okay, elbows draw back towards your ribs. Keeping your neck long, make sure you're not dropping your head. And extend out long in front. Do this 4 times, that was 1, 2. Breathing in as we extend, breathe into the back body, 3. And 1 more, breathe out to the side ribs, 4. Okay, bring hands by your ribs, feet lift, knees wide, child's pose. Slide hips back, elbows drop, forehead to the floor. Easy breaths. And you come and roll over onto your back. The same way we started. We walk back down. Feet flat to the floor, knees pointing up. Okay, arms down the sides of your body. Lifting your hips up. Let's find that nice long line from the shoulders to the hips to the knees. So it's not about trying to get your hips as high as you possibly can. I want you to contain belly and ribs to make space so that we can still breathe into the back of the body as well. Strong glutes, and keep your knees in line so they don't fall out to the sides. Relax your throat, then sweep your arms up and over to the ground above you, maintaining your pose. Slowly float arms back down to the sides on the ground. And again, breathe arms up and over. Try not to flare the ribs. And arms down your sides. So don't worry if your arms don't comfortably make it to the ground above. So you might find it rising now, that you get to the point where you can't go any higher without having to flare the ribs. So when you get to that point, that's as far as you want to go. Back down your sides, let's just do a couple more. If you have to lower down, just do it. Hopefully you can feel a bit of a burn in the glutes right now, maybe the hamstrings. As So you're feeling it. We'll make this one our last one, so make sure there's no pressure in the lower back. Try to use your muscles. And down. Nice one. And lower hips all the way down. Bring your arms a bit wider to the sides of your body. Drop knees over to one side and just pause there for a couple of breaths. And then knees come over to the other side. Drop them across. Stay for a couple of minutes. Okay, knees up through centre. This time we'll float feet off the ground. The knees come up higher. And bring knees over to one side and hold it right there. So you might have a hand over your thighs, but hold in place. Let the shoulders drop open. And turn your head to wherever it feels good. So you might be looking down towards your back arm, or you might be looking straight up to the ceiling. Whatever works for you. And if it feels good, extend the top leg out long. You can cradle it in your hand or have a hand over the leg. Just relaxing again. Feeling those full deep breaths, expanding of the trunk of your body in all directions. Just a few more breaths here, but notice if there's anything that you're kind of tensing up without realizing. Is there somewhere that you could just relax a little more? Let your breath flow with ease. When you're ready to come out, we'll bend up the top knee, roll back through centre, and keeping both knees bent, we'll drop them over to the other side. If you need to have a room, get comfortable here. So maybe a hand over the thighs to help hold them in place. But play with the position of your head, wherever your neck feels good. Notice where any resistance is residing in the body. Maybe extend the top leg, that's good. Is there anything holding you back from completely relaxing here? Just a few more breaths. Eventually coming back through the centre. Let's finish the way we started, feet on the floor. Maybe bring them a bit wider so that you can tent your knees together. Arms could be at your sides or hands on your back, whatever feels right to you, best to you in the moment. Shoulders broaden and fall towards the floor. Check the position of your head so your neck can be completely relaxed. Easy breaths. And try to focus your attention here, feeling where your breath moves to in your body. Breathe into all the space here. Lower back to middle and upper back. up to the sides of your ribs, sides of your waist. To the belly and chest. And all at once, feel your whole body expand. A couple more minutes here to enjoy, so just notice where your attention is, where your mind wanders to. Try to keep bringing your awareness back into your body, feeling your breath. There's a lot to focus on here. Let your breath be an anchor for your attention. Notice where your mind goes. Keep coming back. Staying here for around 2 more breaths. Big, full, conscious breaths. And eventually, when you feel ready to move again, let's stretch out long. Straighten legs out one at a time. Reach arms overhead. And then try flexing your feet, push your heels away from you. Then gather your knees up towards your chest. Movement if you like. And eventually make your way up to seated to finish here. Just keep your eyes closed if you want. Hands on knees or just resting in your lap. So noticing the position of your body. Feeling where your breath goes to. Is it all in the front, or could you shift into the back of the body as well? Let's take one more breath together with the arms sweep wide and high. Hands touch from down center to your heart space. Thank you so much for having me again.